Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut Latino News Opinion Plus, a monthly series airing on Fridays. This is a space for our opinions where we talk about current events and questions the Latino community is curious about. Today we are joined by Dawn La Valle, Director of the Division of Library Development for the Connecticut State Library. Welcome, Dawn. Thank you for joining us this week on Connecticut Opinion Plus.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I was hoping that we could just start off if you could explain the Connecticut State Library's role on a state and local level.
Great, thank you. So the Connecticut State Library is many different facets. It has archives, it has public records, which is public records of municipalities and state agencies, a law and legislative, we're the principal law library in the state of Connecticut, genealogy and history, and our law and legislative. But also the Division of Library Development, which provides support, consulting to all academic, public, school, and special libraries in the state of Connecticut.
That's such a large outreach. I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit specifically about your roles and duties as Director of Library Division, or Development, sorry.
I think I have the best job in the world because the work that we do at the Division of Library Development that I oversee impacts every single resident in the state of Connecticut. So as I mentioned, we do many different things. We have the Connecticut Digital Library, which provides a statewide catalog so libraries can find resources for their patrons all over the state. We have a delivery service where when they find that material, they deliver it to the library from which the patron requested. We have statewide databases that support our schools, our universities, and our public libraries. And we have a statewide ebook platform. But also we do consulting. We basically help and support our libraries to enhance their services that they provide to their communities. So children's and YA and adults and all these different types of consulting services. We also offer construction grants to our libraries. So if they want to do a new library, we offer professional development for library staff to help them better serve their communities. We have leadership initiatives. And one of the other things we do is partnerships. We develop partnerships like our partnership with Access to Justice, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, Health and Human Services. And also we do a lot of work with library data, helping libraries tell their stories to their communities to get better funding. And we also pilot a lot of big initiatives that are not just in the state of Connecticut, but across the country.
Oh, that's such a variety of work. Thank you for sharing that. So I had the privilege of reporting on Connecticut's Library New Digital Equitative Initiative, led by the Connecticut Libraries and Partners for Digital Equity earlier this summer. And as a part of those efforts, about a dozen of Connecticut public libraries participated in local Juneteenth events, as obviously you're aware of, last month. I was hoping you could tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so the digital, we have this group, the Connecticut Libraries and Partners for Digital Equity, which is something that libraries have been involved in for decades. We understand that during the pandemic, a lot of children who were sent home from school, people who were sent home from work, expecting to do their work or to do their homework from their homes, but they don't have devices, or they do not have internet, or they don't have the support, the technological support to be able to do this. So digital equity is about everyone having access, everyone being able to use a device to do their homework, do their work. And really the work that we're doing with these libraries is, and educating communities, is that the library is a wonderful place to go. We're going to help you. We're going to, many libraries provide devices. Many libraries provide digital literacy classes. So it's really about equity of access. Everyone has access. And we found that after the pandemic, there wasn't that. And libraries have known this for decades. Libraries have always had public access computers. Libraries have always had computer classes to teach people how to use a mouse, teach people how to create an email, teach people how to apply for something online that they never had that access before.
And regarding these sort of events, its participation in the Juneteenth events, why is it, in your opinion, important for the libraries to get involved and regularly engage with local communities in this way?
It is so important. we sincerely believe through the work that we do that libraries are community anchors. We're that welcoming place that everybody knows they can go to for help. And it's so important for people in our communities to understand that if they have a question, if they need accessibility, if they need to learn how to use a device, go to your public library because we can help you. And part of the Juneteenth activities was really to highlight something that libraries have been doing for decades that kind of like now is like, oh, this is so important, but we've been doing it for such a long time. And the other important things that people need to understand about libraries is that it's free and open and welcoming to everybody.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Absolutely. And so it seems that Connecticut libraries and partners are planning a full range of activities for Digital Inclusion Week from October 3rd to 7th. Although that's a while away. Is there any way you could give us sort of an idea of what we can expect?
Absolutely. We're planning, we're librarians. We plan 6 months ahead of time, 12 months. We're planning for, 10 years down the road. So it is important. One of the things that we're going to be highlighting is the work that we've been doing for Juneteenth and other outreach that has been going on since the inception of this program. But also we are going to highlight the work and the data and the outcomes from the four libraries that received funding for digital navigator pilot projects. And we're going to hear from the digital navigators that have been working with the communities and allow them to tell their stories, because the story is so important, telling this story of how this impacted their lives, how this impacted the communities. And I can share that we're going to have a special guest. Tracy Hall, who's the American Library Association Executive Director, has been doing work in digital equity for decades. And she's going to be our keynote for one of our premier events during that week.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited.
Yeah, all those personal accounts and just another professional guest.
Absolutely.
So switching gears a bit. So the Connecticut State Library has awarded $44,000 to 24 public libraries across the state for the first year of the Summer Enrichment Grant, according to a press release. Can you tell us a bit about these grants and how libraries might use these funds?
Absolutely. So one of our key missions that we do as part of our statewide mandate is supporting a summer reading program. So when children leave school, they have learning loss. They forget everything that they learned over the past year. So libraries across the country have been engaged in summer reading programs. And over the past year or so, our children's and YA consultant, Kim Poe, has kind of changed the direction that we're going with summer reading. She has really taken us from a quantitative, how many books did you read during the summer, to more qualitative, what did you learn? How are you feeling? How is this impacting your life? So getting a real sense of, and it's also about accessibility. Not every child can read 10 books a summer. Sometimes they struggle to get through 1 or 2 books. So we wanted to engage and open up how we're looking at this. So the summer enrichment grants were really to allow libraries the opportunity to create enhanced programming. So for example, the Henry Carter Hall Library in Clinton, Connecticut has STEAM stations, so STEM equity, so science, technology, environment, music, arts. And they're going to be enhancing the reading with, using their hands, participating in a project. The Preston Library has a program taking technology to girls and really focusing on girls that code and getting girls interested in the sciences and engineering. And the Mark Twain Library in Reading has a program, robots and androids and drones, oh my. So sometimes those kids who are not those avid readers, but they would like to read an instruction on how to use a robot and program that robot. So really diversifying and expanding how children, engage in summer reading programs.
Right. It sounds very inclusive and accessible. I'm jealous, honestly. I had to read like a certain number. I would have loved to do these programs.
I think you'll be welcome to any library you go to. It's I feel the same way. So much is happening, but that's how we continue to engage. That's how we continue to keep the public and the kids especially. They're so technology oriented. They're glued to the devices. So how do we engage them in traditional reading? How do we engage them in traditional programs?
Right. So I was wondering, we don't have too much time left, but what are a few easy ways for viewers who are interested and how they can get involved with the Connecticut Public Library's efforts?
Go to your library. There's always volunteer opportunities. There's friends groups. There's advisory groups. There's every way that you can be involved. But just go to your library. It's a wonderful resource, and it's just there for you. And they're always looking for input from their communities on programs and services.
Are there any sort of last reminders or resources or programs that I haven't mentioned that you would like to bring up to our audience?
So I'm very excited to say that our in the Division of Library Development, we have the Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled, which serves adults and children who are visually impaired or blind or have reading disabilities with visual. And we're working on a project with the Perkins School for the Blind out of Massachusetts that to provide a descriptive experience for adults or children going to a museum or an art gallery. And what we're working on with Perkins is to train volunteers, to train docents, to train museum educators on how to do descriptive experience. So the children who are doing summer reading, who have visual impairment, who are going to be involved in going to a program, that they have that descriptive experience. And we're very, very, very excited about that.
That's really amazing. And again, it's very innovative. I wouldn't have thought about that. It's just another way to really be inclusive and provide that sort of crucial experience, especially to kids. It can mean a lot really at a young age, I imagine.
Absolutely. And one other items we're doing, we in the state libraries, my cohorts across the country, what we do in our states, we also share with other states. So any program that we do, for example, we have a futures program, which is teaching librarians how to really look ahead and plan. So we do a lot of programming and development of models and pilots that we can share with our cohort, our colleagues across the country. So talk about inclusive and engaging and involving everyone. And we also benefit from programs that they do in their state. So it's really, like I said, I have the best job, because we have so much impact. We have impact in the state and we have impact across the country.
That's really amazing. That's such a great way to put it. Absolutely. It seems like a very collaborative effort, sort of learning from each other. Like the Digital Equity Project is a pilot program that's inspired by in another state, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was inspired by the city of Salt Lake City, which did this project. And we basically took the project and customized it and did it. They did it in the city. We did it in the state. So everything we learn, we share. Everything we learn, we don't keep it close to our chests. We allow everyone here's a great way to do this inclusive program. Here's a great way to involve everybody in your community. And that's what's so wonderful. Like I said, it's a wonderful opportunity in this job to be able to have that kind of impact.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for talking with us and for being our guest on Connecticut Latino News Opinion Plus. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We deeply appreciate the opportunity. We look forward to you coming to some of our programs.
Oh, absolutely. I'm bringing my nieces. I'm excited.
Excellent.
And then we'll be including all these resources below.
Hey, if people just need to know, go to your public library. Take advantage of these wonderful resources. They're there for you.
Appreciate it. So everyone, please join us next time for another episode. For more information about our discussion today, check out our web story on ConnecticutLatinoNews.com. Follow us on Twitter at Connecticut Latino News and Instagram at Connecticut_Latino News. I'm Belen Dumont with Connecticut Latino Opinion Plus, and see you all next time.